What are red flags in a friendship most people brush away? When you hang out with them it feels like you're defusing a bomb when there's nothing going on right then. Edit. Why is my highest rated comment about the one friend I gave up on due to his need to yell at me over the smallest things? But seriously, I didn't expect so many people to have this problem too. Thought I was the only one who didn't realize this right away. Friends that only care to talk about their own success and aren't genuinely happy for you and yours unless it amounts to less than their own. Really jealous and possessive friends. I'm a jealous person by nature. And even though my jealousy flares up when I see my friends hanging out with other people, I would never let them know. Why? Because I don't want them to feel bad about doing the things they love, having a social life outside my little world. If a person tries to box you up because they want you all to themselves, it's not a proof of love or companionship. True love, in any kind of relationship like friends, family. Friends who are good to you in one-on-one but constantly put you down in group settings. This is a big sign of insecurity, jealousy. The signs: inappropriate attention-seeking behaviors. Trying to twist the situation on you when confronted about things. Not respecting your boundaries. Is super friendly with new people but in a disingenuous I wanna be liked the most way. Constant gaslighting. Getting mad at you for not going by the exact same moral playbook as them. When in group settings they get really uncomfortable and try to change the subject or put you down extra if attention is on you. Acting they like can take constructive feedback but actually taking it out on you in small ways throughout the rest of the day. Edit. Thanks for all the upvotes and the silver. Wish you all the best of luck in ridding yourselves of toxic friendships. Continually feeling like you want to say something but should hold your tongue. You see you got a private message from them and your gut reaction is to start getting nervous or anxious. What is it this time? Friends who gossip excessively. If they're talking about other people. Being dismissive of all your interests and achievements. Meanwhile everything they do, no matter how mundane, they only talk to you when all of their other friends are gone. Always asking for favors but never there when you need them to return one. One-upper friends. Two-upper friends. Friends that don't let you have any other friends and require 100% of your time when they can't give you the same. Having their damn phone in their face the whole time. If they do that, they don't want a friend. They want company. It's not the same. Friends who are always happy to talk about themselves but never once ask you how you're doing or anything engaging you to talk about yourself. They call you only when they need you. Inability or unwillingness to apologize when he or she does something wrong. It's symptomatic of an ego issue that will eventually infect every aspect of your friendship. My best friend in high school once specifically requested for me to post a picture of us for National Best Friend Day. Or some similar holiday. I asked if she'd be posting a picture of us too. No. I have a lot of best friends. But I'm your main best friend so you should post a picture of us. Was her response. The next couple years were full of backstabbing and gaslighting. Complete with occasional fallings out until we finally stopped speaking. Looking back, I can't believe I didn't see it coming. Reading these comments are helping to calm my anxieties about whether or not I'm a good friend. So thanks for that, y'all. If you think about them when you read this post, they don't ask about you. They just turn every conversation about themselves. When you talk about exams they don't ask you how you did, they just talk about themselves. When you talk about not sleeping well they talk about how they didn't sleep. When you tell them you broke up with your so they talk about their so etc. When they push other people out of the friend group. It happened in my group where there were 5 of us. She joined and basically bullied 3 out of the group. But it wasn't obvious bullying. A lot of things change. Next thing I know I'm being treated like shit to the point I hate myself. Me and my friend managed to leave and make friends with the original 5 again. Reading through this is making my heart sink with realization. You'll gladly do a favor for them or help them out. But when you need something, they won't do it. And act like you're ridiculous for asking. Also when friends don't respect boundaries. Edit. Thanks for the upvotes. Good vibes only friends. That mentality is fine to have with yourself. But you can't force that on others. My best friend adopted this attitude, and from then on, whenever I would come to her for support or advice on an issue I was having, she'd cut me off and say, good vibes only. Remember? Because I was bringing her down. I put up with it for a long time because I thought she was right. That I was burdening her. But then I finally realized that that's not how real friends act. They're supposed to support and help each other. Edit. Thank you for the silver. And many people are bringing up how some people set up boundaries because they are going through something themselves and can't help someone else at the moment. Or that the person will only come to them for negative things. I completely agree. Neither extreme is a healthy friendship. Friends who constantly call you for advice but never take it and continue to involve you in their drama. If you're not going to make moves to improve your situation, stop asking me for help. Assholes. When they pressure you to do things for them, or a certain way, and act like you were on board the whole time. Coercion. They say they are holding you accountable to something you never wanted in the first place. Gaslighting. They take the high road when you get angry because they won't respect your boundaries. Passive-aggressive insults to other friends. When you can't trust a damn word they say, or any promise they make to you, you know you don't have a good friend. Friends that are a one-way street. I was always the one to message, call, or make plans with them. I was always the one to check up on them to see if they were okay. I always offered a helping hand and be there for them. I decided to stop to see if they would reach out to me. But we never spoke to me again. Oh. Well. I've got a friend who loves to talk about himself. Everything is always about him. So, when I'm out with my friends and he's in our group, we created a game where you have to drink every time he starts a conversation about himself. It's made it a lot more tolerable. Edit. To those of you who think we do it behind his back, I never said we do. It's something we've talked about with him plenty of times and he's aware of. He's not a bad guy at all. It's just how he is. He also doesn't mean anything bad by it. He's aware we do it. We are all just super close, so we've just made a game out of it, and now he often catches himself doing it. Edit 2. Yes. He will drink with us. As I mentioned, he now catches himself often and will realize it and be like, shitty, then we will all laugh and drink together. I'm also not saying I'm perfect. Far from it, and we've got games and jokes about me as well. They never say anything supportive of you, but they will point to your flaws and can't wait to burn you because it's funny to them. Friends that aren't happy for your success and happiness, but are very close when you're sad. When you realize that you are more yourself when they are not around. Edit. Whoa. Didn't expect my comments to get this much attention. And thanks for the silver. Conditional friendship. We're friends until I question you in the slightest way, and if I do, the relationship is tanked. Source. Friends that constantly hit you. AAAUHHFK. I can't believe you've done this. When they refuse to validate you, compliment you. When you tell them your accomplishment or something you're proud of, they reply with what they did to devalue your thing. Someone who listens to gossip about you and doesn't shut it down. Friends who say they'll help you out, but bail when you reach out. Friends who forget to invite you or text you back about events, parties. Friends who undermine what you say in group settings. I.e. you tell a story or make a comment and they correct you in some way. I have friends like this, but it prevents them from being good friends. Having to censor yourself. I have friends with different religious political beliefs that I think are absolutely insane. I don't endorse what they say, but I just keep my mouth shut. Because I know they wouldn't be okay with it, and the purpose of these friendships usually revolve around sports music. You leave their presence feeling worse about yourself. Mostly because they will have an excuse for what they say. When you ask them for anything, they are busy. But they will demand things from you. Most people also brush away that they will demand a lot of attention. They choose where and when to meet for plans without your input. Then act entitled if you are busy or simply can't meet their demands. If you tell your friend that you like a person and you two are hanging out, then out of nowhere they start to talk to the person 24/7 and then tell you that they like the person and gets jealous if anyone else starts to talk to that person. Pretty toxic to me, but yeah. Edit. Thanks for the silver, it's my first time getting one. Personally, I've always had bad experiences with people who say everyone is their best friend. When my best friend in high school started calling 10 different people including me her best friend, that was when I knew I was just an accessory. And she was trying to surround herself with people to love her. A friend of mine has been making fun of me for years. Just made fun of me whenever I said anything. Even if I was serious. Didn't realize how much it's affected my self-esteem until I actually got really angry at her for something else and no longer considered her a friend. Also, she's mentally unstable. Now that's okay. And as her friends we want to help her with that. But she's not giving us a chance to do so. She just flips her shit and expects everyone to adapt to her. The real problem is that she hasn't changed. The same shit's been happening for years and she's apparently not trying to work on herself in that regard. Still expecting us to just accept whatever BS she throws at us. So FCK her. Controlling. Manipulative friends that try to change you rather than accepting you as you are. Friends who guilt trip you for never hanging out with them but always flake at the last minute when you do plan to meet. Repeatedly have to put effort into maintaining the friendship. Friends who encourage you to do self-destructive things because it makes them feel better about their own lives. When you're with a whole group, they're constantly on their phone messaging people or talk about people they speak to. Friends that are always on their phones when you make the effort to hang out with them. If the only jokes they're able to make are ones that make fun of other people. Giving you random gifts to make up for sustained TTY behavior and making friendship transactional. Like, I don't want your junk, I want you to quit being an ass. If they post about having a bad day but never answer anyone asking why. X. Friend FK this day. I'm so sick of this. 5 different people in comments, what happened? Friend message me. Nothing. Or no response. You decide to message. You get. Just had a bad day. And then nothing. Or get nothing at all. Or they tell you they'll tell you later. They won't tell you later. Close bracket. Chances are absolutely nothing actually happened. Friends who stay friends with people who traumatized you. When they cancel plans, they always do it last minute. Someone who is all nice, great, attentive, supportive, etc. when you are alone but acts differently when other people are around. Don't make excuses for your friend. This is 100% uncool. At the very least, it shows some bad insecurities on their part. At worst, it's a sign they are genuinely using you. When they ditch you the moment they start dating someone. The ones who create and constantly dominate group chats. Edit. I mean when they act like the alpha dog. Or that you're privileged to be in their chat. Or like they're the final word on anything posted in it. Friends that consistently overstep your boundaries for their own benefit. I brushed this away with a friend of mine until he really took it too far and I exploded at him. We never spoke again. Friends who are dicks to you when there are other friends there but are nice to you when there aren't. You will say sorry for everything and fly to words so you don't offend them. When they only want to talk to you when it's convenient for them. Friends forming a clique within the wider friend group and slowly pushing you out until you're all but forgotten. This keeps happening to me and I don't know how to get close to or connect to people anymore. Like it always starts out great. Amazing even. But people just magnetize to each other and you find yourself alone again. The bastard that sends Kirby PRN in the group chat. But grossing your friends out is literally the greatest bonding experience. Friends that never sound genuine when they talk about anything. Where they always sound like they're putting on a mask. Friends who drop you when they get into a relationship or have a crush. Friends that makes jokes at the expense of you. When your friend spends an inordinate amount of time bad-mouthing your other friends. They're going to be saying things about you too. Friends that leave you to go to a get-together while they are with you, yeah, FCK those guys. Lie about weird or unimportant stuff. They try to correct your personal preferences for you. Bully you out of liking certain clothing, music, foods, art, etc. They'll often frame it as if they are doing you a favor. It's a sign of emotional immaturity when people treat others like play objects rather than human beings. The friends that if you call, text them first. Or invite them out. You never talk or hang out at all. Edit. I'm alluding to the thoughtlessness of these types. If you can't respond or reach out first to people, this doesn't apply to you. Just at least communicate with those other people so they understand and don't feel horrible on their side of the friendship too. You only meet up when they have a gap in their schedule. When it's convenient for them. And they don't make any effort to make time for you. They won't make the effort to understand. You could be reaching over halfway across the table and they won't even try to reach for you. When their attendance is conditional on who else is going. Someone I knew was like this. And the one person in the conditional who else is going for him was me. Apparently all our mutual friends, or so I thought, took him seriously and cut me out of their lives. It was devastating to lose people who I thought were my friends, some of them for over 5, even 10 years. But it helped me realize that they may have not ever been my friends all along. Though I guess that thought in itself is pretty devastating too. Never-ending open-upmanship. You're not their friend. When it's just you and them, your best friends. When in a group they make jokes about you and low-key put you down. Those friends that are only friends when there's no work to be done. Friends who are honest. It's good to have a friend who can be upfront with you. But beware of the friends who are only honest when it's about something negative. People will say whatever they need to in order to be malicious and let it have a pass. My advice to those of you with honest friends: don't let yourself be vulnerable around those kinds of people. They'll most likely be spreading their honesty about you to others. My mate stole from me for years. I refused to believe it until he stole the money we received at our wedding. He then tried to bluff his way out of it. I ignored it and in the end I paid the ultimate price and lost basically a brother. He stole from others including his real brother. I'm losing it just typing this. I think this whole concept of red flags is misleading though. For the most part. Nobody is perfect and as human beings we're not one thing or another. We're complicated messes. You just have to accept people in their entirety. Or not. I wouldn't ever take one red flag and think it makes someone suspect or a bad friend. I'd just accept that's one singular thing about them that wasn't to my tastes. But they may have other traits which make them a wonderful friend. When they leave you unread and don't answer your question. Don't really see this as red flag by itself. Maybe that person is thinking about what they want to say or became busy. I've spent way too long hesitating about how to respond to something before. I also understand that isn't always the case though, and they may be actively ignoring you as well. The moment other people are around they immediately start making fun of you. When they're late or leave you waiting often. FCK people who have no consideration for your time, one of your most precious things. Not making enough time for you. Whether it is that you are always the one to begin conversations and make plans. The other person having plenty of free time but not for you. Cutting visits short because they have to be elsewhere. Or my personal favorite. Inviting others to stuff you plan to do together. All of that shows that they don't respect you and the friendship as much as they should. Relationships are a two-way street, and given that we are a couple billion people, you better put in some effort before I drop you for someone better.